This is JP the Barber. Welcome to another episode of Unplugged by You.
Next year might be completely different to this year. And so you need to embrace the fact that change is inevitable, whether you like it or not. Whether you choose to change or not, it's going to happen. I mean, let's think about it. When was the last time you bought airtime at Spa? Like, remember those airtime slips? Do they even still sell it? I'm not sure now. They do. They do. So there's still a target market there, I guess. But I cannot remember the last time I bought airtime leaving my phone. But there was a time when that's all you could imagine. Let's think about Skype. You remember Skype? Skype, are there people who don't know? Okay, who doesn't know Skype? Okay, we all know. I was about to say, I was getting worried about the generation. So Skype was the leading provider of video calling services, etc., etc. How is it that Skype lost it to Zoom? Where did Zoom even come from? And that talks to you about change. One thing Skype kept trying to do was they just kept trying to break into the WhatsApp, Snapchat sort of life. So they came up with Skype emojis. No one was chatting on Skype. You would never, if you want to talk to a friend, you wouldn't text them on Skype. But then they lost out on this opportunity, a market that they dominated for decades. They lost out on it because they were not willing to change. And the other lesson from that is find your core purpose. Their core purpose was video calls and video conversations, etc., etc. But they were trying to break into a market that wasn't even theirs. Chatting, conversations, etc., etc. Find your core purpose and stick with it. Be good at it. Be the best at it. And don't be blown away by what everyone else is doing in the market. Next up, get yourself a ride or die team. Right? When it comes to finding teams, we were just chatting now. When it comes to finding teams, it's very difficult, and people always say, how do you find the right people who might like the idea, but they're looking for money, but you haven't started making money yet? How do you find the right partners who won't decide to sell the business and replicate your idea? Find yourself a ride or die team and work with them. I think now of, I'm trying to remember his name, Sam Altman. He's the founder, CEO, if I'm not mistaken, of ChatGPT OpenAI. And he recently had to resign because the board of, this is a tech team, you guys know ChatGPT, yeah. The tech, the board of directors they didn't want him anymore, and so he resigned. And the next day, it was over 100 employees stepped out with him. That is leadership. They didn't have to. They were going to have their jobs. They could have kept their jobs. They could have even had increases if they wanted. But they said, if our leader goes out, we go out too. And in less than 48 hours, he was reinstated. And I'm sure he got a really good pay. Because now, if you want me back, you're going to pay double than what you were charging me before. So find yourself a ride or die team. When it comes to entrepreneurship, I don't know if I still can't decide if it's a calling, if it's something you're born with, or if it's something you have to learn. But I know that I never thought I was going to be an entrepreneur. In fact, entrepreneurship seems like struggle life, for those who know. That's how it's promoted. Entrepreneurs are the ones who are not sleeping or working. Sometimes they have an income, sometimes you don't. 9 to 5 gives you stability. You know you're going to get paid at the end of the month. And so entrepreneurship was never something that I wanted to do. I wanted to do my PhD in Harvard, graduate at 25, and be a fancy doctor, and that was going to be my brand. And a couple years later, I am an entrepreneur. I'm busy with my PhD, and I'm 24. And so that's to say that you don't need to drop on education to become an entrepreneur. Because that's something that we battle with all the time, where you've got to pick whether to do your degree, whether to study further, or to run a business. You don't need to choose. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, be an educated entrepreneur. Okay, and that doesn't mean you have to go through the degree phase. Get a certificate. Find a certificate in the field that you are in that justifies your qualifications. One of my degrees is communication management. Yes, I'm good at speaking, but I wanted a degree that says I'm good at speaking and that says I'm good at communications. And so as you're thinking about your future, as you're thinking, this degree thing is boring, I want to go make money, don't lose the education side of things. It's very vital as an entrepreneur. I can't leave today. This is a short keynote because I know that you guys you need to find out who won. No one is listening to me at the moment. It's fine. But before I leave, I can't leave without giving you some pitching tips, because that's what I do. I train speakers, I train those who pitch, etc., etc. One of the biggest factors of pitching, and I think the judges will nod, is 80% of your pitch is your presentation, 20% is your idea. If your idea is good enough, you don't really need to tell us too much about the figures. We can research it. But how you sell your idea is where you have us captivated. And so the passion with which you speak, you could sell me you could sell me ice in winter if you do it really well. I'll buy it from you. You can sell me sand in the desert if you do it really well. I'll buy it from you. And so when you step up to speak about your business, recognize that you are a living, breathing representation of your brand. How you are passionate about it is how I'm going to be passionate about it. If you stand up here and you're just like, yeah, so we teach speaking, it's not that exciting, it's just speaking, then I will think, okay, it's not that exciting, it's just speaking. So be very cognizant and be very what's the word? Yes, conscientious, thank you so much. About what it is that you are saying every single time you are representing your brand. We are listening. Even if you don't speak, your body language tells me how you feel about your company. If your hand's in your pocket and you're just, I'm also disinterested. So be aware of those cues that maybe you didn't think about before. Just be aware of it. So you want to be passionate, you want to be confident, you want to tell a story. So, for example, my company, Elevate Africa Academy. Instead of telling you that we train public speaking, I could have stood up here and told you that when I was 16 years old, when I went live, let's speak about a young girl. There was a young girl. When she was 16 years old, she spoke at the United Nations and she received a standing ovation. I could tell you that when she was 17, she got a full ride scholarship into university, not because she was the smartest, but because of how she spoke. I could tell you that when she was 20, she did her master's, a full ride scholarship again. I could tell you this. I could tell you a story about a girl who was privileged because she could speak, and she wanted to pass on those skills. Now I've taken you through a story. I've told you about what it is that speaking can do for you and how it can open up doors for you. I've told you a story that you can remember. So sometimes your business just needs to be reflected as a story rather than figures. If I started to tell you 20% of this and 15% of 1,018, you would lose me halfway. So think about your businesses, think about what it is that you are trying to achieve, figure out a story, name the girl Lindani, I don't care, but tell us about how your business has impacted the life of one individual. And if we can see it in one individual, we can believe that it is possible for your business to grow and have that same impact on a large number of people. And so thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today, sharing to you what Enactus was able to do for me indirectly, and sharing what Enactus was able to do to me indirectly, and letting you know that this is just the beginning. And I know you hear it often. I was pitching at EDHE 2 days ago, and we didn't win. But we're coming back to train all the EDHE finalists next year. And we're going to come pitch to Enactus that we want to train all the Enactus finalists next year. And there's other things that we're going to be able to do. But let this not be the be-all and end-all. Okay? Let this not be we lost, our business failed. No. Your client is in this room. Just find them. Thank you very much.